Hi there. Welcome along to another episode of the 116 podcast. Hi, I'm Greg Fish, your valiant host for this affair. Hey, listen, we are a podcast about living life higher, wider, closer, and deeper. The 116 is a presentation of First United Methodist Church in downtown Peoria. We come to you from the catacombs of First United Methodist Church. And even our guest today, Mr. Dan Phillips, as you can see, has his First United Methodist Church logo on, so he's ready for this. Don't forget to like us and share. I'm lost now. Like us when Dan's in the room. Don't forget to like us and share us on social media. We are available on all your podcasting platforms. Please subscribe or follow and be sure to leave a review. Hopefully both of those are positive affairs. And go to peoria1.com for more information about us and to leave a message. If you subscribe on YouTube, it's free. And the more subscribers we get, the merrier time we have. So please feel free to do that. Plus, they keep you updated when we have new releases. So with that in mind, wow, it's Christmas season. We even have some Christmas lights going here in the studio as we are thinking Christmassy thoughts. And this one is just for the love of Christmas music today. We decided to have some fun. I was talking with Dan about Christmas music things. We thought, hey, that's a podcast. So today, I'm not so sure how related this is to our ministry at First United Methodist Church, except to say we love Christmas music, and we're going to talk about it some today. So I don't know, does that sound like a good plan to you, Dan?
Sounds like a great plan. I love Christmas music. I do.
And so when's it safe to start listening to Christmas music?
Well, Thanksgiving is kind of that key time. That's when our house makes that transition. We do like to decorate quite a bit. And when I say we, I pretty much am saying my lovely wife, Kim. But Kim and the girls love to decorate the house, and I love to have it decorated.
Yes.
And when you have it decorated, you need the background music. I'm a person that loves to have sound in my life. I mean, that's one of those things that is part of this life experience. So
sure.
If you can hear it, that's great. So Thanksgiving, from that point on, I'm pretty much in the Christmas mood.
And, I was raised on loving Christmas music, but it always happened on Thanksgiving Day that we were allowed to start playing it for the first time. And then we decorated for Christmas on the weekend after Thanksgiving. So that was just Christmas music nonstop around the house. But I got to tell you, in all honesty, and I was pretty much a stickler to Thanksgiving Day, but these last few years with the pandemic, I've been going a little early.
We have too.
Christmas music.
We have too.
Yeah.
I have even been known to find a CD in the middle of summer and throw it on just for fun.
So, and for me growing up, my mom had those wonderful old musty smelling albums that crackled and hissed and popped. And I would listen to music at Christmas time that I would never listen to any other time of the year. So my mom loved Johnny Mathis, although we only listened to him. Johnny Mathis. And we had those old Reader's Digest compilations that had Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra. So I grew up on a lot of that. So Peggy Lee, have the Peggy Lee Christmas album.
Absolutely.
And that, I mean, was that kind of your story?
Oh, absolutely. The Roy Conniff Singers and this and that Philharmonic. Absolutely. And the Columbia Music Club or Columbia Record Service, you could get those 12 albums for just a penny.
Right.
And so, it's, those were real, benchmarks of the Christmas season growing up. Now, you and I we're close to the same age within 10 years or so. So this puts us back in the 50s and 60s, and life was good then. Life was good then.
And honestly, I don't remember too much from the 60s. The 70s was more my milieu, but
that's true. That's true.
But and another thing, I was raised on country music, so I love the country Christmas stuff too. I mean, the Kenny and Dolly Christmas album, in my mind, is a classic. Even though they had some Christmas love songs on there that I did, like Christmas Without You and stuff like that. But I Believe in Santa Claus and I'll Be Home with Bells On. Have you heard the Kenny and Dolly?
I have not, and I will admit I'm not a disliker of country music, but I did not grow up with it. My dad's a musician by trade, and so I grew up, he's more of a jazz musician and kind of a big band era person, and so I grew up with more of that type of a Christmas music. I have those since relocating here to the Midwest back in 1970, have been exposed to a lot of different country music, bluegrass music, folk music that I really love. Spotify now, Pandora, they are wonderful tools to expose you to lots of genres. Did I say genres or genres? Genres of new types of music. I'm listening to one now on Pandora, and I think it's something like the Lovely Ladies or something, but it's a lot of harmonies. You know, they don't play just one artist; they'll play lots of things within that, and but it's a lot of small groups that harmonize a lot, and I absolutely love that. Wow,
and you know, we're not leaving church music out. I certainly grew up on the great Christmas carols of the church, but here's the interesting thing for me, and it blows away some people. I didn't even hear Handel's Messiah for the first time. I didn't even know it was a thing until I got to college, and and I still haven't actually sat through the whole entire Handel's Messiah.
It's like 5 days long, right?
I think so, yeah. And a lot of hallelujahs and so forth.
Yeah.
And I do have I am kind of particular about Christmas music, I guess, and I've never leaned more, but I love the fact that some folks love that, and I think it's great. Whatever you love, that's a good thing. But we're going to kind of talk about some interesting trivia about Christmas music and some things. One of the things, talking about the older artists, it's interesting the difference in the way Christmas music was done then. And by the way, I love the new pop artists doing Christmas music. I'm going to give you a few of those later in the show, of ones that I really enjoy these days. So I was listening and thinking about Nat King Cole.
Oh,
and yeah. I love his voice, but I've never been able to really sit and listen to his regular music. But I love him at Christmas time. But I've noticed that when he sings the old Christmas hymns, like even Frank Sinatra does, he leans towards the ones with the funny words, the foreign language. I don't know if it's Latin. Like instead of "O come all ye faithful," it's "Adeste," and they sing that funny "Adeste Fidelos" or whatever it is.
I always wondered what that was. Yeah,
and I was listening as he was singing, and he gets to the word, and I didn't remember this word being in there, but he sings it with great pride. Adoremus. Adoremus, which is adore.
Yeah.
But he sings Adoremus. I wish I knew that word when I was a kid, because I would have loved to have called people an Adoremus.
Yeah.
But it's kind of close to some words I may have used.
I was going to say, I bet you did come close. No.
Yeah. I mean, we're really, if you think about it, you and I are a couple Adoremuses ourselves.
I think we are. Yeah. We've been called that in the office many times. Many times.
And then I was listening to Johnny Mathis, and again, he's another one. I can't listen to his regular stuff, but when he sings Christmas music, it's like, whoa, I like this.
Yeah.
That dude does not miss a chance to hit any of the possible pronunciations of a vowel when he sings a Christmas song.
They got paid by the vowel back then.
I think so. I mean, we make fun of Southern people for making one-syllable words into two. He's like, "Oh, holy nights, oh, holy night."
I think we counted 3 syllables in that.
Yeah,
and the O alone. Yeah,
every possible way of pronouncing a syllable.
Yeah,
he hits them all, and I enjoy all that. But as far as the older guys, who do you tend to lean towards on your Christmas music?
Well, we are big into that kind of mid-20th century era. We probably play White Christmas in our house maybe once every 3 or 4 days. We love the Bing Crosby, the Rosemary Clooney, a lot of that Danny Kaye era stuff. We really, really like that a lot. But again, we always have in the background Pandora playing with some good Christmas from Thanksgiving on till just about the New Year's. I don't like to cut it off. I don't like that hard edge of December 26th. It's over.
It's hard to let go of it, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, and it's weird when the regular music comes flying back at you. It's like, did you guys just forget? Did you just throw Christmas out the door? You're done with it? I don't go that way. I like to just kind of ease out of it.
I've come to prefer the digital music services too, because it's so easy. I mean, I used to have a bunch of record albums and then CDs. I had, thousands of them because I was in radio.
Right.
But, the funny thing is now I grew up on albums and I kind of rejected them because I just didn't like the sound of them. I didn't like the pops and the cracks. I loved digital. And now the hipsters, they go back to the vinyl, and records are like 3 times what they used to cost.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Because the hipster, they know they can get the hipsters have a lot of disposable income, apparently.
That's right.
But I don't know. Are you a vinyl purist at all when it comes to Christmas music, Dan?
Well, I mean, I think if we had a good setup at home, I would be. We do have a lot of albums. We don't have a good way to play those albums. We picked up somewhere along the way a digital turntable, but we don't have it hooked up, and we don't have it able to sync into our computer or our speakers or anything like that. But I would like to play vinyl again. I heard somebody talking about that the other day, and they were saying that when you hear the music without those pops and cracks and natural sounds, it's not really listening to the music as it was recorded. Huh? And they were going on. It made sense as I was hearing it, but they said, you're just hearing what they want you to hear, which I thought, oh, this sounds like a conspiracy theory. but they're saying you're not hearing the entire effect of the recording. Gotcha. And I do kind of get that, because back then, we didn't think of that as, aside from having to put another penny on the arm, when it skipped, I didn't think that was a bad deal. Then you got into those cassettes, or as my late mother would call them, cassettes. Cassettes. I remember a brief period with the 8-tracks, which would be fun. Yep. Which
I never really understood, with the songs that would kind of fade out in the middle when it had to change tracks, Yeah. So, I listened to some 8-tracks. I never actually owned one, but I wish I could have some of the old albums my mom had. Like, for example, at Christmas, I mentioned the Johnny Mathis, the original "Merry Christmas" from Johnny Mathis, I think it was. There's an artist that I never would have heard of outside of this, but we had an old Christmas album by Bobby V. V-E-E, which, they used to use V's and Lee's because they had these really long last names with a lot of consonants and few vowels. And I here's the thing that I've liked about the new digital dawning is that it's made those old products available again. So I found Bobby V I think it's on Spotify too, on Apple Music. Peggy Lee's Christmas album. I think it's called Christmas Carousel.
Okay.
I would never listen to Peggy Lee otherwise, but I love the album. And what's the other? I have this very distinct memory, and this is maybe where Pops and Cracks would come in to lend to the nostalgia. But I remember going to my Aunt Esther and Uncle Ted's house. They were really my great aunt and uncle. You didn't need to know that, but I told you anyway.
I now know.
And they would play their Chipmunks album for me, but because they didn't know how to handle the vinyl, they'd take it out with their hand, they'd play Frisbee with it and stuff and rub their hands all over it, then put it on and But I remember listening to the Chipmunks, and that's why to this day, despite the fact that some people don't like the Chipmunks, I got to have me some Chipmunk.
Absolutely.
Christmas, Don't Be Late.
No. And I know that album and that song has made a lot of list of the worst Christmas music. But if you dig deep into that album or whatever format you get it on, there is one cut on there that, gosh, for one season, I think I played that like every hour. And that was "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" with David Seville doing kind of a bebop Christmas.
Really?
Of course, I thought it was great. And, it's not like any other Christmas music. Well,
one thing I noticed, though, by listening to the Chipmunks albums now as an adult is David Seville was a very angry man. He had anger issues like, "You Chipmunks, Alvin!" He's always yelling at them.
He is.
I think he needed some help. Speaking of cartoonish characters doing albums, what about the Muppets album?
Well,
Are you familiar with that one?
Well, I am, and that's another one of our go-tos at Christmas time is the Muppets Christmas Carol. In fact,
with John Denver.
The movie.
Oh, the movie.
The movie.
Okay.
But yeah, the Muppets, in my opinion, can't do wrong as far as Christmas music, Christmas movies. Muppets are great.
And let's think about that for a moment. The 12 Days of Christmas song, which I think is best listened to by the Muppets and John Denver, with Miss Piggy singing 5 gold rings. But really, here's the part you can't beat, and I can't remember which one it is. One of the numbers, you have the scientist and the meeper guy.
Yeah.
Meep, 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 meep. That's the best part of the whole song.
Absolutely.
Anytime you get meep, meep, meep. But... And so 12 Days of Christmas is not one of the better Christmas songs out there. Nobody knows what Partridge in a Pear Tree is. And we say we do, but Maids a Milking.
Maids a Milking, yeah.
That's a little disturbing.
It is. 11 of them, you know. Yeah. I mean, I don't get that.
Yeah. So, but I can deal with the Muppets singing it. But there have been different versions of that out as well. And I have this memory of one that my mom had, again, on one of her compilation albums. For some reason, I want to think like Reader's Digest, Christmas traditions. And I can't remember the guy's name, but it was something like 12 Tropical Days of Christmas or 12 Days of a... And I remember in it, the end of it was in one minor bird in one papaya tree.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
But then when he got to number 12, he said, on the 12th day of Christmas, and the 12th day is the best, we get 12 television.
Really?
Yeah, 12 television.
12
and then
television.
Yeah, and then back down to one minor bird in one papaya tree. So if anybody out there can help me find that, I have looked throughout all digital landscape trying to find that one. I cannot. If that rings a bell with anybody out there, please help me out with that one. Are you a 12 Days of Christmas kind of guy, though?
I am. Yeah. I am. I like that. There's a lot of versions of it today that are kind of fun. I know that, who's that a cappella group that does that that's pretty good? It's Capital Steps, maybe. They do a version of it that's pretty good. I think it's Capital Steps. Maybe not.
There's like one like Pentatonics or something like that.
Pentatonics does one. But yeah, I like 12 Days of Christmas. I got a not speaking of music at all, but I got a chocolate advent calendar this year.
Oh, yeah?
I can't believe there's only 3 days left till Christmas. I could not help it, but it's going so quick this year. So quick. Woo. So quick.
Yeah.
Now the Christmas music, and it's hard to be in a bad mood when you have Christmas music going on, unless you're walking through a mall, and that's one place that I don't walk through very often, thankfully. But Christmas music does kind of settle you down.
And that brings me to the next thing, and that is that there is some Christmas music that does bring me down. Here's the interesting thing. I looked online, and I know you've got some too for the best of list and so forth. Mm-hmm. There are some of those, but more than anything else, there are a lot of lists online of Christmas music people hate.
Yeah.
Those lists are much bigger. And I know for myself, for example, Blue Christmas, I never cared much for that because I don't want anything to do with a sad Christmas.
Yeah.
Blue. It's just too sad for me. I have enough reason to be sad in my life. I don't need this Christmas music to be sad.
Right.
I don't like sad Christmas music.
No.
But some other ones that are just kind of there on my I don't like list is Drummer Boy. I don't think there's just room for Parumpa Pum Pum in any Christmas song, for one thing. And I know that it's not a true story, although some people these days think it's a true story. It's not in Scripture. There's no Drummer Boy in Scripture. And I don't know. I just don't care. Just a personal thing. Again, if you like it, that's great.
No. And do you think Mary, as she's giving birth in a stable, wants a little drummer boy right there?
Exactly.
That just drive you insane.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But there's always been a lot of those. I remember a lot of school programs. I was in school band growing up till I was about a freshman or sophomore, and being the son of a musician, I was expected that I would be a musician, and I'm not, unfortunately. And kids, if you're listening, I know we have a big demographic of young people that listen to this podcast. Stick to your music. Stick to your music. I don't care if you hate taking those piano lessons, your tuba lessons, your oboe lessons. Stay with it, because when you get to be older, and you will, you'll appreciate the fact that you can play music. It gives you a different appreciation.
There you go.
Yeah, just my little soapbox there. Yep.
So, music, there are certain areas that once you start going into it, it really gets people emotionally invested in it. And I realize about talking about Christmas music we don't particularly care for will get some people riled up.
Yeah.
So keep in mind, folks, Greg says, and Dan says, it's okay for you to love the Christmas music you love, but there are some songs that tend to be more controversial than others. Probably the most controversial Christmas song of all is one that Greg personally just, I wasn't going to say it this way, but I loathe this song. And it's the song, Mary, Did You Know? Mary, did you? And don't get me wrong, it's not even for theological reasons, although I realize I mean, I'm okay. If you want to ask Mary questions, yes, her answer would be, yes, I did know. Yes, I did know. Okay, I mean, I get that. This kind of cracked me up a little bit. In studying the song online, I found out that some people thought it was a sexist song because they say you're implying that Mary was too dumb to know because, of course, she's a woman and she couldn't possibly know, which I don't see that in the song. I just don't like the song. I just cannot stand Mary, Did You Know? And I've mentioned that before, and some people, so if you love the song, that's awesome. I'm glad you do. It just, in my ears.
Yeah.
Why is it some songs we hear, and other songs people, so those are two particular songs. Of course, then the other one is, from having been in radio, the song Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer is definitely one I never want to hear again for the rest of my life again, if you like it.
And there's and I didn't hear this until I was an adult, the hippopotamus song.
Oh, yeah.
And I did not even know that existed. And I thought, when I was older and I heard that, I thought, why would somebody write that? But I guess it was very popular.
So I kind of found a list, and like I said, it was easy to find these kinds of lists online, the most reviled Christmas songs. So Dan, I'll just run these by you and get your reaction. Like, for example, Mary, Did You Know? Do you like that song? I mean, it's fine if you do.
I've heard people sing it in concerts, and it can be very personal and touching and moving, but I could see where it could affect you in a negative way.
Here's another one. I know I've heard it, but The Christmas Shoes by New Song.
I read a little bit about that song, and it involves, I think, a woman dying and going to heaven. Yeah, it's just, I remember hearing a story a couple of years back was going around about a little kid checking out at a Walmart, and he was buying these gold shoes, and it was so that his dying mother could wear them in heaven. And oh my gosh, it was like
too much.
Too much.
Here's one that is, a lot of people hate this song, Wonderful Christmas Time by Paul McCartney. I actually like this song.
I like it. It's one of those that does get in your head, and it just is there. And it's there.
Simply having
wonderful Christmas.
The big complaint is the synthesizer part of it, they say, is annoying. I like this. I don't. The other one, though, I guess, A Happy Christmas War Is Over by John Lennon. I kind of like the song, but the fact that Yoko Ono is on it.
Oh, come on. You don't like Yoko Ono?
In fact, one of the original versions says it's by the Plastic Oko Band or something like that.
I think she did have a band with that name.
Yeah.
I think she did.
Yeah. So anyway, that's probably, okay, another song on the list is Santa Baby by Ertha Kitt.
I just heard that, just a few minutes ago in the van. And, there's a couple of those of that era, 50s, 60s era that today the Me Too movement would not be too happy, like Baby It's Cold Outside.
Exactly. Which isn't really a Christmas song.
It isn't. And there's another one on this list that, it is Christmas related, but it doesn't use the word Christmas, doesn't speak of Christmas, but
we'll have more of those. Yeah. Well, and I think because people love the movie Elf so much, which I'm not, I've seen it once. That's enough. I'm fine. I mean, it was funny. I thought that's a nice movie. I liked it. I admired it. Yeah. And then I was done with it. Some folks love their Christmas movies over. And I think because that song was a central song in the movie, people, Baby It's Cold Outside, there's some question about, is it a date rape song? I don't know.
Right.
I just don't like the song much. Yeah. So another one on this list, Do They Know It's Christmas by Band-Aid?
Yeah, there was some verbiage in there that really hit hard, talking about, people in third world countries that don't experience Christmas like we do.
Dominic the Donkey by Lou Monte. I
don't know Dominic. I think there's some eehaws in there. I believe I don't know. Somebody will connect with that.
Of course, Grandma Got Run Over by Elmo and Patsy is on here. Elmo, the guy who sang it, was actually a veterinarian. I found out.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
For what that's worth. So let's see. The Chipmunk song's on here. Bruce Springsteen's version of Santa Claus Is Coming to Town is also a song that seems to be on both lists. The people like it and hate it.
Really? Yeah. That's the one with Clarence on
Clemens?
Clarence Clemens on saxophone.
Yeah. Here's one. Please, Daddy, Don't Get Drunk This Christmas by John Denver. I became familiar with this song when
I don't know that song.
Alan Jackson did it, and I despise it because, again, sad song.
Yeah.
I get that it's a topic matter some people can relate to. It's just for a Christmas song.
That's
kind of an odd way to go.
No.
I debated even mentioning this next one, Christmas Tree by Lady Gaga.
I'm not familiar with that, but I did see that on that list.
It has, and I've heard it is the raunchiest Christmas song. It is absolutely raunchy.
And it's about a Christmas tree? Do you say Christmas tree? Okay, don't.
Yeah, let's not really. Yeah, they use the word Christmas tree, but that's not exactly what they're talking about.
Oh, am I being a little too naive here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's awful.
Really?
Another one. All I Want for Christmas is My Two Front Teeth by Spike Jones is on the list.
Oh, that's a good one.
But Whistling.
I love that. Yeah. Yeah.
The Hippopotamus for Christmas song is on a lot of bad lists. I did run across Billboard magazine's top Christmas songs of all time, and I thought, well, this sounds like an official list.
Yeah. Billboard.
But then I found out it's according to their staff editor's picks. So really, it's nothing official about this.
No.
But here's their top 10. Number 10, This Christmas by Donny Hathaway. Well, I like that song. Is it top 10? Not sure, but it's do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. You know that song?
I don't know that song. Donny Hathaway.
It's a great song.
Who's Donny Hathaway? He sounds familiar.
Kind of an R&B artist, I guess.
Okay. Okay.
It's a great song. Bruce Springsteen, Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Yeah.
Number 8, Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC. I don't know, top Christmas song of all time.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Number 7, I'm surprised number 7 isn't on more hate list. Feliz Navidad by Jose Feliciano, which I like the song.
I do too.
But,
I think our pastor Miguel has a very similar character to his voice as
Jose Feliciano.
Jose Feliciano, yep.
Number 6, probably the song that would top my list. Brenda Lee, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree. To me, that's just the best.
I know some of these lists are rated or scored by actual radio play, which doesn't really mean it's the most popular.
Right.
Some are rated by actual sales of records or back then.
Yeah. The song at number 5 is a song that a lot of lists put at number 1, and people consider, I think it's the best-selling Christmas song of all time. You know what that is?
White Christmas?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Number 4, Wham's Last Christmas, which again is another song that I'm surprised isn't on more bad lists, but it's okay song. It's fun. Whatever. Yeah. The thing is, it repeats the same verse for 6 minutes in the full version by Wham, though. That's a bit much for me.
6 minutes?
Yeah.
Wow.
Number 3, Nat King Cole, The Christmas Song, and you can't go wrong with that. Nope. Number 2, Darling Love, Christmas Baby, Please Come Home. I'm not going for that one in the top 10. Number 1 is a song that I'm not so big on either, Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Yeah, I've heard that is at the top of a lot of lists, but I think that's based more on airplay, which doesn't necessarily mean...
I think it's the number 1 airplay song, and it's the number 1 Spotify song.
Okay.
Interesting note on that song is she didn't originally record it. Do you know who originally did that song?
I don't think I do.
The song... All I Want for Christmas Is You was originally recorded by Vince Vance and the Vaughns. Is that right? No, Vince Vance and the Valiants. That's right. Vince Vance and the Valiants. It was written in 15 minutes by Troy Powers and Andy Stone, initially released as a single in 1989. Vince Vance's version is the first version that charted. And this group is also known, in case you're wondering, what else have they done, Dan? Are you asking that question?
What else has Vince Van and the Vanguards? Vanguards, yes.
Their other hit was apparently Bomb Iran, the big, of course, anthem that we all sing regularly at holiday seasons.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I noticed that you don't have on your worst or your best, You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. Mm-hmm. And I did see that on a couple lists as far as worst songs. And it's strange that that's a song that is very, to me, it's very much associated with Christmas and with the giving spirit and the meaning of Christmas as it relates to an animated character. But in it doesn't mention Christmas per se.
Right.
It has some very interesting lyrics that, I mean, how many times do you hear in a Christmas song, you're as bad as a black greasy banana peel? I think that's pretty good that you can work that in.
So can you say the name of the dude who actually voiced that?
Yeah, that...
Thurl Ravenscroft?
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
Can you tell me what else he was well known for? And back in his day, he was really well known for this. He was the voice of a famous...
Was it a commercial?
Cartoon character.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Saturday morning cartoon character?
No, it was specifically for a brand of cereal.
Oh.
Known as Frosted Flakes.
Tony the Tiger.
He is Tony, the original Tony.
Really?
It's great. Was Thurl Ravenscroft.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So when you were talking about songs that aren't really Christmas songs, I mean, there's songs like Let It Snow and Winter Wonderland that really...
Right.
But this is kind of an interesting area because there are a number of Christmas songs written by Jewish songwriters.
Yeah, I think I read that. In fact, a lot of the big ones, a lot of the big Christmas musicals and movies, too, produced.
Yeah. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, Holly Jolly Christmas, Johnny Marks wrote those. Mm-hmm. White Christmas by Irving Berlin. Mm-hmm. Interesting side note on that in a moment. Let It Snow by a couple people, Sammy Kahn and Jewel Stein. Mm-hmm. And then Winter Wonderland by Feliz Bernard and Richard B. Smith. Jewish writers, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So Irving Berlin, did you know he hated Elvis Presley's version of White Christmas? So much so that he actually put together a campaign to have it banned from radio.
Really?
True story.
Come on, Irving. Yeah. You're going to get a cut off of it.
Yeah, that's right.
Let him gyrate and do that. Yeah. What about the singing cowboy, Gene Autry?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Rudolph was his biggest.
Rudolph was probably his only big, well, maybe not only, but his big Christmas song, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So let's see. We have, here's something interesting. Songs that have different lyrics. Probably one of my other favorite secular Christmas songs is Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Mm-hmm. I love that song.
Yeah, yeah.
But did you realize it originally had different lyrics? True story.
Tell me, Greg, what are those original lyrics on Have Yourself? Was it something like Have Yourself a Berry Little Christmas?
You're close. No.
A cherry?
So back in 1944, it was written for the movie Meet Me in St. Louis.
Oh, yeah.
And the director of the movie, along with Judy Garland, thought the original lyrics were too sad. Here they are. And I agree, they were too sad. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. It may be your last.
Oh, I think you are dying and you're going really fast.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah, that might have been.
I think I even unplugged my headphones on that one. Let me get those plugged back in. That was okay. So here to have yourself a merry little Christmas. It may be your last. Next year, we may all be living in the past. Oh. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Pop that champagne cork. Next year, we may be living in New York.
Okay.
I'm glad it wasn't another word that I rhymed with cork when I was thinking about it.
No.
No good time like the olden days. Happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us will be near to us no more instead of once more. Oh. But at least we will be together if the Lord allows. From now on, we'll have to muddle through somehow. So have yourself a Merry Christmas now. That is one of the most depressing.
That is depressing.
Even more so than, I guess, the Blue Christmas song. But there you go.
Wow.
Here, another interesting thing, Jingle Bells.
Love Jingle Bells.
Was not originally written as a Christmas song. It was a Thanksgiving song. James Lord Pierpont wrote it as a Thanksgiving song.
You know, he should have left it as a Thanksgiving. How many Thanksgiving songs do you know?
Well, there's the Thanksgiving song by Ben, what's his name, that's out here recently. What's his name, Ben? It's a really great
Folds?
Song. I have it here somewhere on my notes. I have too many notes here.
Ben Eaton Turkey?
Ben Rector.
Ben Rector?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like a potential joke right there.
Nearly killed her.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, fill in those blanks, folks.
Yes.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. So, but hey, by the way, that's a fun little Christmas album. It includes the Thanksgiving song, but it has some really good Christmas music on it. It's a newer. Look it up on Spotify. You'd like it, Dan. Actually, has a little jazzy flavor to it. Yeah. Kind of a pop jazz, I guess.
So Jingle Bells. When did it make its crossover from Thanksgiving into the Christmas season?
You know what? That's more information that I have here on these.
And are the lyrics of Jingle Bells then, were they changed? Was it really a sad song about a turkey being killed and sacrificed for the family? Is that what Jingle Bells was really all about?
I don't know, but I have it on good authority from old timers.
Yes,
that it is not fun riding on a one-horse open sleigh.
Well, that is true.
It's pretty cold.
That is true, and o'er the fields we go.
Yeah, it's
not
really.
Why couldn't they put in the V? In over, o'er the fields we go. I mean, come on, really use all the letters.
Other fun Christmas facts that I found out here. We're just going to keep this thing rolling here. This is too much fun. I hope you folks like this. This is just fun for us. The oldest Christmas carol that we know of. I think I saw that on your notes too. Do you know what the oldest Christmas carol?
We used to sing it at home quite a bit. It was a fun one. It was actually written, from what I understood, it was written in France, actually. Back in between 310 and 367. Really? How do they know that? Between 310 and 367, and that's do you have it as Jesus refulsit omnium? You don't have that? Jesus, light of all the nations.
That song goes in my head all the time, Dan.
I know.
But,
Jesus refulsit omnium.
You actually know this song?
No, I was just kidding. I was kidding.
Okay, let's say the one that is both a part of modern tradition that actually goes back. Do you know what that would be?
O Come All You Faithful?
O Come, Emmanuel goes back to the 12th century. It's an English version translated by John Mason Neal in 1851. I wonder if Dr. John Orff would have known that. He probably would have.
Well, O Come All You Faithful, there is a toss-up between mid-18th century, but the words could go back to probably the 13th century.
Okay.
Yeah. And I tried to find the oldest American Christmas carol, and really didn't look like there was too many of them that had much length of age. Yeah. Good King Wenceslas, English, 13th century, a lot of
King
stuff.
Wenceslas. Yeah.
Wenceslas. And then let's see, what else did we have there as the aged ones? Of course, of the Father's Love, which was between 348 and 413, written by Aurelius Prudentius Clemens. Clemens, yeah, we know.
Who went on to write "'Twas the Night Before"?
No.
The same one. Okay.
But I did read that in Dickens' Christmas Carol, they did reference, I think it might have been, "Oh, Come All You Faithful." Joy to the World is also one that's fairly old. I don't have the age on it here, but Joy to the World's fairly old.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, people don't realize this, the Christmas Carol, Tiny Tim actually grew up to own one of the biggest companies in England. Was very successful after that.
Is that right?
Yeah, had a very successful career.
Yeah, what was the name of the company? He was Tiny No More, was he?
He was
Large Tim Limited.
There we go. Yeah, Large Tim's.
Yeah.
He grew quite sizable. He grew up to 300-pound man.
And he had a heart 10 times.
That's right.
No, that was a different story.
You know the first Christmas song to mention Santa Claus, at least what they say?
No,
and this is, by the way, no endorsement necessarily of Santa Claus for those of you who that bothers, but the first song to mention Santa Claus was Up on the Housetop by Benjamin Hanby in 1864.
Really?
Benjamin Hanby wrote Up on the Housetop, click, click, click. He was inspired by the "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" poem, which he turned into the song Up on the Housetop. Here's an interesting thing. Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You and Wham's Last Christmas both generate $400,000 plus annually. $400,000 plus annually. So if you're wondering how much money there's to be made in Christmas music.
So those are the royalties that are paid to their companies or them?
Actually, I
don't know how that...
I guess the songwriter probably gets a haul. Mariah Carey did not write the song All I Want for Christmas Is You. However, Wham did, I think. It says
okay.
Wham,
yep.
Who? George Michael? Is that right? Is he Wham? I think he did write the song.
No, I don't know.
Anyway. Yeah.
I wasn't that big of a Wham fan. That was a little later than me.
Well, and you mentioned, Hark the Herald Angels Sing and Joy to the World are two of the oldest English language Christmas hymns originating in the 1700s for the English language.
Yeah.
Okay. And by the way, Dr. John Orff does have a very interesting article on carols, lessons in carols that we have on our website if you want to check that out. Songwriter Gloria Shane Baker wrote the song "Do You Hear What I Hear" in 1962. I didn't know it was that young of a song.
I didn't either.
She wrote it as an anti-war song, a plea for peace during the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Really?
"Do You Hear What I Hear" is a song against the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Really?
Yeah, I had no idea.
Wow, I didn't either. I'm going to have to listen to that again
and see if you hear what I hear when you listen to the song. Yeah.
Well, at that time, in 1962, I lived in the D.C. area, and we had a music store, a Phillips Music Center, and we had probably a couple hundred students and teachers, and every year, one of the fondest memories I have, we lived in a little subdivision outside of D.C., and we would have a Christmas party with all of the students, and my mom would make hot chocolate and cookies, and we would go through our subdivision with all these students of varying degrees of abilities and skills, going door to door playing. And so there'd be a knock on the door at this little, quad house, and the door would open, and there'd be about 20 or 30 ragtag kids playing who knows what, and we kind of made it through like 2 or 3 songs, and then we'd move on. But that was just such a fond memory for me, as going door to door with this little group of people. Every year we would do that. We really enjoyed that. I don't know, caroling has always been one of those things that it can either be a source of great joy or anxiety.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen a few carol groups where I was both wanted and unwanted. It seems like, depending on who's listening to that. But
yeah.
So the song "Silver Bells." Did you know it was originally not entitled "Silver Bells"? It was written by Jay Livingston and Ray Evans. The song "Silver Bells" had a different title. Did you know this one?
Shotgun Shells?
No.
It was underwritten by Remington?
Yeah.
No, Winchester?
You're going to love this, Dan. Wait a minute. I've got to get the... Pardon me. I'm operating cameras, and there we go. Let's... For the full reaction here. Here we go. It was originally entitled "Tinkle Bells."
What? Tinkle bells?
Tinkle bells, tinkle bells, it's Christmas time. Until Mr. Livingston's wife explained to him why maybe that wasn't the best word to use. And I think we all know exactly what that is.
Yes. Tinkle bells. That would give a whole new meaning to that song. No, we don't want to go there.
Okay. "We Wish You a Merry Christmas" is one of the oldest secular Christmas songs, originated in 16th century England. Mel Torme's song, the Christmas song, chestnuts roasting on an open fire, was originally written during a summer heat wave in 1944. They were trying to escape the heat, so they wrote a Christmas song. See if you know the answer to this. How old was Brenda Lee when she recorded the song "Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree"? Do you know how old she was?
I'm going to guess that she might have been, she could have been like 46. 66.
13.
No, 13?
She was 13 years old.
Child labor? Really?
Yeah, she was a child star.
Brenda Lee.
Rocking around the... Yeah, she had a big voice. Yeah, she was one of those that started as a child star.
Wow.
That's why it seems like, Brenda Lee has never really gone away. It's because she's been around since she was a child.
Yeah, since she was a child.
She's still alive? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, yeah. So anyway, that's... I think that's all the wonderful little Christmas music trivia I had. Do you have any for us?
I think you covered some of the same that I did. But, Christmas music, it is very personal. It is something that affects us. Music, some people love it. Like you said, you can't wait to put it on as soon as the seasons change. I listen to a wide variety. I've got a kind of a Tex-Mex CD that I play, which is
spicy.
Oh, it is very spicy, and some of the songs sound like old Santana.
Really?
But yeah, it's a lot of fun. And then there's the ones that we hear today on Spotify. I mean, I think there's a whole new era of Christmas music, and there will be those generations coming that will not care anything about these old ones that you and I grew up on. They won't know, the Reader's Digest collections. They won't know the Raycon of singers. And, I think that was a part of so many people's Christmas morning is Dad getting up and or Mom and opening that console stereo and taking that LP out of the sleeve and putting it on and just putting it on play. Don't put the arm over so it'll just keep repeating. Yeah, that's part of a lot of memories.
I actually have Ray Conniff sing. Is it Ray Conniff or Ray Conniff singers on some of my playlists because I like the dashing through the snow.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That kind of thing is kind of fun.
It's a feeling. Yeah, it's a feeling.
Yeah. So I did bring along a kind of one of my connections. Here's a trivial connection with me and Christmas music. I was in radio back in the 90s. I was on a country station in southern Indiana called The Duck. We were talking about that beforehand. I actually had a slightly different name. I went by a different name on air. Have I ever told you this?
I don't think you have.
I'm not sure if I should reveal this here or not, but my name on air, back in the early 90s when I took on this moniker, it was popular to have 3 names. So I went by Greg Scott Fisher. And so in the afternoons on my country radio show between Thanksgiving and Christmas time on Friday afternoons, I did Greg's Afternoon Office Christmas Party. And it was a very popular show. Had a lot of listeners and I mostly country Christmas music, which I absolutely loved. But these days I've kind of branched on. So I thought I would bring along, if I were to have an afternoon office Christmas party today, I've kind of, fallen away from listening to much country these days, I guess. What would I have on my playlist? Now, by the way, if you're a lover of Christian music, For King and Country's Christmas album is pretty good.
Is that a good one?
Are you familiar with For King and Country?
No, I'm not.
You need okay. Very good, yeah. They also have a Christmas show they put on. Of course, I grew up on the Amy Grant Christmas album as well. But, okay, so Christmas Tree Farm by Taylor Swift. I love this song. Have you heard that one?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I'm going to give you this list, Dan, because these are things your assignment is to go by. And by the way, there's a new music service for music that's only so called Spot Iffy. But so you can find it on either of these services.
Okay.
The Meghan Trainor has a Christmas album out. It's all about the bass singer.
Yes.
It's called A Very Trainor Christmas. I actually like this album. Rocking Around the Christmas Tree is pretty good. Dan, you've got to listen to this one. Ingrid Michaelson has a Christmas album out called, I think Happy Holiday from England or something like that. Ingrid Michaelson.
Okay.
But she had an add-on song with Jason Mraz. I think that's how you pronounce his last name, M-R-E-Z, called Christmas Valentine. That is one of my favorites.
Really?
Because I became engaged last year and this song came out at Christmas time and it just endeared itself to. I love this song. I mentioned Ben Rector Christmas album. Gwen Stefani has a Christmas album out that I actually like.
I bet.
And Here This Christmas, one of my favorite songs from that. Tori Kelly, a pop artist who also is known both in the Christian and pop field, has a Tori Kelly Christmas. I love the song 25th.
25th, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nora Jones has a new Christmas album out this year. If you like the jazzier stuff, her take on Christmas time in here is pretty good. I'm not a fan of musicals at all or the Broadway musical world, but I discovered Leslie Odom Jr.'s Christmas album. I think you would like it too, Dan. It's kind of jazzy, Broadway-ish, but he does a song called Snow that was on a lot of commercials last year.
Okay.
I really like that one. Sia, a pop singer, has a Christmas album that's kind of fun called Every Day is Christmas. And there's a Jonas Brothers Christmas song called Like It's Christmas that I kind of like.
Well,
so there you go.
Thank you.
Dan will just pass along the list to you.
Thank you very much.
There you go. If you're watching on video, I've just officially passed that list off.
Can't see that. I guess there are copyright laws, so we can't let it be seen for more than a second.
That's right.
Just put that down there.
So there you go. Any recommendations from the Dan Phillips Circle that, Greg, you need to listen to this Christmas music this year?
No, I didn't know I had homework. I would have brought in a list, but no, I don't. Unfortunately, I don't pick out the music I listen to. I'm kind of a default Dan kind of guy. If I like the style of the music that's being played, my wife does a lot of that picking out. We do, though, kind of gravitate towards that kind of mid-20th century era. That's kind of where we hang out. And it's kind of fun because our daughters, who are 28 and 33, they are there too. I mean, besides them having their younger music, they know all the words and movements to all of these old songs from White Christmas and all of the standards, Holiday Inn. And it kind of amazes their friends that they know that stuff. I think it's amazing, but we just like that.
And Dan, I know you're not much of a country fan, but from my years of doing Greg's Afternoon Office Christmas Party, there was one song. Here's a kind of off-the-wall recommendation.
Okay.
If you like country music, there's an artist named Joe Diffie. He actually passed away through the COVID stuff. I love Joe Diffie's voice. He had a song called Leroy the Redneck Reindeer.
Leroy the
Redneck Reindeer. I can't remember exactly. It's been long enough since I've heard it, but it's a fun little song you got to check out. Also, I grew up with a song called "Oh Beautiful Star of Bethlehem," and if you like the countryish side of Christmas music, it's a sacred song. But "Oh Beautiful Star of Bethlehem," just you can't you can't go wrong. With that
and
one.
wasn't there also a song with Olaf and not the Olaf we know? I thought I used to hear Orion Samuelson do that on WGN once a year. He would do that song. I can't remember what it is, but or maybe it's not Olaf. Maybe it's Ollie and somebody. A couple good Norwegian guys.
Is that's under that donkey song again? Is
no, it's not the donkey song. Although the donkey songs go back quite far. So, yeah.
Oh, I forgot. Jingle Bells.
Yeah.
I mentioned that was written originally as a Thanksgiving song.
Right.
You know what troubles me about that? What does Batman have to do with Thanksgiving?
Batman? Where do
Okay, so you apparently never did this. When I was a kid, we used to sing it. Jingle bells. In fact, there's a great meme out about this. Jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg.
Yes.
The Batmobile lost its wheel and the Joker got away. And there's a meme where Batman says, "I do not smell."
Well, how about We Three Kings? I remember as a kid,
Well, how did you sing it? How did you sing it?
A loaded cigar.
Yes.
And then poof or something at the end.
For some reason, we sang it a rubber cigar, which I'm not sure what.
Rubber cigar. Huh.
We Three Kings of Orient are smoking on a rubber cigar. It exploded everywhere, and then you pause for effect, and you begin singing Silent Night. Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah. Our parents let us get away with everything, didn't they?
Kind of going full circle here, I was mentioning, I want to be sure, since we're coming from First United Methodist Church in down Peoria, to give proper time to the Christmas carols as well. What child is this? I have a question for you, Dan, because so sometimes when you see this song, it has in parentheses green sleeves, or else they just call it green sleeves. Who is Greensleeves?
Who is Greensleeves?
Is he related to Mr. Green Jeans from Captain Kangaroo?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Why do they call him Mr.? No, let's not even conjecture that. I don't even want to know why. But
and
that troubles me.
And really, when they saw the child, they didn't know who it was. What child is this? Did they go to the wrong stable? I mean, wait a minute. We're not in the
That's
right
a good
place.
point. We sing the song. We ought to sing it. What child is this?
Yeah. Who is this kid here in this stable?
I heard a comedian say one time that whenever you watch, I think it's John Mulaney, to give credit where credit is due, whenever you watch these movies where somebody wakes up from a coma, the first thing they ever say is, "Who are you?" And he said, nobody would ever do that. He said, because you wouldn't want to make people feel bad. You see these people around you looking at you, and you wouldn't say, "Who are you?" You would act like you knew them.
That's right. You'd be polite, even if you didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
I heard that John Mulaney was actually the first choice for Home Alone as that character when he was a young man.
Is this a true story?
True story. True as I heard it.
Okay.
I don't know if it's true, but it's true as I heard it.
Gotcha.
That's a weird statement.
Dan, that's all I have on Christmas
music.
That's it? We went way young. This qualifies as the longest episode of the 116 ever.
No,
we'll
it just seems
more.
like it. It just seems like it, and I'll try to be better prepared. What are we doing? We're doing the New Year's music next, or is it the Valentine music, or Easter music? How about May Day? Oh, those May Day songs. I love those. I think maybe we ought, we do a whole episode on if old acquaintance be forgot. Yeah.
That one and Happy New Year's Eve, I think, is a New Year's. Let's ask the folks out there if you like this sort of thing as a diversion just a little fun side thing to our usual podcast here. Let us know. If you hate them, kindly keep it to yourself.
Keep it to yourself. Don't tell your neighbors.
We don't want, yeah. But if you like this, let us know. Hey,
Please.
we want to hear more of this nonsense. We really like Dan Phillips, who, by the way, Dan, thank you very much.
Oh, Greg, and we're just a couple of guys talking. We're no different than anybody else in this world. We just happen to be in a room with microphones.
Exactly.
So thank you.
And I always get a good response when I have Dan Phillips on, so thank you very much.
I don't know. But Greg, we appreciate you doing this 116 and exposing Central Illinois to a lot of different things and new information. And thank you.
And one of these days, we may even have Dan Phillips hosting the 116. You never know. I think that would be fun.
If you could wean it down to like 4 knobs, he's got like 85 knobs over there and slides.
And so anybody who was watching on video with us recognizes that I had a lot of problem at the beginning of this, because I have to do the camera angles and everything. So my apologies for the weird camera work at the beginning of the video version. But let us know if you enjoy this. You can respond to us online at peoria1.com. There's plenty of forms on there you can fill out and send to us and say, we would love to hear more of this kind of stuff.
Or suggestions. Do we ask for suggestions?
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, we could.
Because, I've also thought maybe we should do a question and answer if somebody has some, even any kinds of questions that you wanted to ask a pastor, and we could put Pastor Tim on the front line. If that sounds like fun to you, let us know, because frankly, we run out of people we can talk to or who are able to talk to us on ministry things all the time. And it's just fun to come in here and talk to the folks sometimes. Right. So we'll do more of these if you like them. In the meantime, thank you so very much for putting up with us all of this time. Go to peoria1.com for more information about us and to leave us a message. We are a podcast about living life higher, wider, closer, and deeper. And that does fit in there somewhere, today's podcast. It's a presentation of First United Methodist Church in downtown Peoria. Don't forget to like us and share us on social media. And whatever your podcast platform is, if you have a place to do that, like on YouTube, subscribe. It's free. You pay nothing, but it helps us keep you posted on new episodes and that sort of thing. Be sure to leave a good review, if you will. If you want to leave us a 5-star review, again, please do that. If not, kindly keep it to yourself or whatever. And again, thank you so very much. My name is Greg Fish. Thank you for joining us for this edition of the 116. It has been an extraordinary pleasure having you along with us today.